And have anybody here ever perhaps said something or let an email go out and later you said, why did I do that? Why did I say that? I mean, the answer is yes. We all have done that. And Shakespeare has this kind of comment, weightest thy words before thou givest them breath. And sometimes we don't do that so well.
Tom Leech is the author of a much-acclaimed book from the American Management Association, How to Prepare, Stage, and Deliver Winning Presentations. This book was one of 6 top-of-the-class books that were named by Presentations magazine. Tom's previous book, Say It Like Shakespeare, The Bard's Timeless Tips for Successful Communication, applies over 200 memorable quotes from Shakespeare to enhancing communication in personal or professional life. For 25 years, Tom has helped organizations nationwide add to their capabilities and successes via hands-on coaching for high-stakes presentations, on-site and public training programs, and conference keynotes and seminars for professional associations and corporations.
I'll be talking a little bit about some wisdom from Shakespeare based on this particular book, Say It Like Shakespeare. And it starts, and the whole premise of the book is no man is lord of anything, no woman is lord of anything, till she communicate their parts to others. Now, don't get hung up on the parts part, but at any rate, the whole point about what he's trying to say is that unless you can communicate, you can have a degree or 6, you can be very proficient, but you really need that extra part that gets it out to whatever audience you're dealing with. And that's where I get involved in the business of presentation coaching and helping people say it like Shakespeare. So, no man is lord of anything till he communicate his parts to others. We'll start with one other part of that. The book covers a lot of facets of communication because they come in all forms. Sweet royalty, bestow on me the sense of hearing. Remember this particular quote, for instance, beware the Ides of March. Who's the character involved here? Who didn't beware the Ides of March? Is Julius Caesar. He got 3 warnings that particular day, and he ignored them all. Beware the Ides of March. He even had the nerve after the second warning, after the first warning, he was walking by this soothsayer out there, and he said, hey fella, the Ides of March are here, and I'm still here. And the soothsayer said, yes, they are here, but they are not gone yet. I thought that was kind of catchy. Stick around, Julius, until the day is over. And he got another warning, and they did him in. And the famous quote, of course, et tu, Brute. And all kinds of people decided to take a slice at him. So that's not real good. So do we ignore that particular one? Well, here's a headline. It's kind of interesting. FBI admits it missed 911 signals. So you remember all kinds of little clues they got from somebody down in Phoenix about people Arabs particularly, learning to fly airplanes. There was a woman up in Minneapolis, and the warnings came, beware thee, etc. FBI admits it missed the warnings. So do we do that sort of thing in business? Well, unfortunately, we have that tendency to do that, and then we adapt a different policy, though. We say, let's see, I'll have the open door policy. So here comes the people. Hey, this is out of Dilbert. You're the first employee for my Coffee with a Boss program. Feel free to say whatever is on your mind. Don't hold back. Give it to me straight. And Dilbert says, my chair has a squeak. And the boss says, you ungrateful, whiny wretch. Wait a minute. I thought this was the open door policy. You want to get the news. Well, Shakespeare says the first bringer of unwelcome news hath but a losing office. So if you bring the good news, that tends to be okay. But we tend to ignore a few other things. As another example here, and this you've heard a great deal of, and this is from Time magazine, the 3 persons of the year, and the title is called The Whistleblowers. And it's 3 women involved with things like the FBI, WorldCom, and Enron. And they were signaling, and a lot of people were not listening. Not just their bosses, for instance, but also the writers of the world, the public, who kept investing in Enron, for instance, investing in WorldCom, and a lot of those sort of things. I think I can't remember who was the head of Enron right now, but their trials are about to hit, you know. But how many people lost lots and lots of money as a result of that situation? So that's the sort of thing that happens to whistleblowers. It's right out of Cleopatra. Any Shakespeare fans here by any chance? And that comes from Cleopatra, who says, "Oh, give me the news, give me the news." And the messenger is there giving her the news, but it's the bad news about her hot romance, who's Antony, who's just got married went back with his wife. And so, no, he really got married. And Cleopatra proceeds to whale the tar out of this guy. And he says, he's scared to know, he's getting back here. She's the queen. And she says, "Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that." And well, what else you got? And he gives him a little more. She pulls a knife on the guy. He's going to slice his gizzard up, you know. And he says, "Madam, I'm just the messenger." And so that's where the term "don't shoot the messenger" came from. And what happens to an awful lot of our people is that they get wiped out, fired. All those nice little things happen because they are the messenger. At any rate, that's a little bit about the power of listening. There's kind of another interesting one, and there's so many lovely demonstrations of this one, and that has to do with sending. And have anybody here ever perhaps said something or let an email go out and later you said, "Why did I do that? Why did I say that?" I mean, the answer is yes. We all have done that. And Shakespeare has this kind of comment, "Weighest thy words before thou givest them breath." And sometimes we don't do that so well. So here's some classics, for instance. These are sort of political ones. Congressman is saying this, the debate is up there. "Mr. Speaker, this bill is a phony with a capital F." You have to think about that a little bit. "That low-down scoundrel deserves to be kicked to death by a jackass, and I'm just the one to do it." No, what I said.
Here is Tom speaking at an annual meeting of a professional organization. His program is based on his award-winning book, How to Prepare, Stage, and Deliver Winning Presentations.
You got a tech degree, or the people you're working with, and I know a lot of you are, it's not even yourselves possibly that you're here for a reason, it's other people in the company. You're not the only one, but maybe you're in a leadership position, you're project manager, the president of the company, and how can you help your colleagues? And I would really encourage you to put that hat on today. So technical degree is only a start. That's William Shakespeare, in case you can't recognize him there. And the crux of the entire book, "No man is lord of anything till he communicate his parts to others." Don't worry about the parts too much, but at any rate, that's the idea. You can be good if you can't sell it. If you can't communicate it, you're missing out. And I've had a lot of people in seminars and so forth, they have ducked presentations. And why are they there? Because the boss sent them there. You can see the fingernails, you know, "I don't want to be here, don't want to be here." And their careers have been shortchanged. There's another part to that, and I work a lot with teams, and they're picking the talent to go into this competition. Key personnel. This is a techie, this is a finance, this is a whatever. And because they have to go in and present and make their case, one of the criteria that wasn't there so much in the past is, can this person sell our case? And the techies are among the worst of the bunch. And they'll say that. This is clearly the best person for the job. Very solid. Can't present worth anything. Hates presentations. The heart starts thumping away just at the thought of that. Can any of you relate to that little problem by any chance? It's real. And so a lot of times people miss the choice. They are not chosen, not on their technicals there. Can't present. Not good for our case. So I kind of like that quote. Sets the framework. And the other one comes from a fellow named King Lear. "Mend your speech a little, lest it may mar your fortunes." Just exactly what we're talking about. Again, these are just some little goodies from Shakespeare. I get a lot of interesting feedback that people say, "You know, that's exactly right." And he said these about 400 years ago, and it's just a little different way for us to look at some of this stuff. Presentation's an opportunity. This is what I was just indicating. And it's a measure in this presentation environment of the shortlist interview. Suppose you and your team come in and you mess up. Well, what they're looking at is, if they mess up the presentation, how are they going to do the job? Probably mess that up too. Vote down here, low on the scale instead of high. It is a measure for sure. Do it right, and the odds of winning whatever your objective is, much, much better. Don't do it. Cause yourself a setback in your career. Particularly right after lunch, right? All right. Okay, so we're going to talk 15 tips. And this happens to be from the second chapter of my book, 15 tips. The rest of the book is covering that and a whole lot more. But these are what I call the high level. I've interviewed a lot of people who are very significant audience members. And I will ask them, what are the things that people do wrong? What are the things do right? And from that and my own working a whole lot of these, that's how this little set of 15 came about. Some will get a lot more attention than others, and some will just hit a little quickly. But at any rate, that's the idea. Number one is prepare. And this is right out of the most successful college basketball coach in the history of college basketball, Johnny Wooden, who was at UCLA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton. If you've got any college basketball fans here, you might know that name. And he put this out there, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. That's number one. You got to prepare. And I will work with a lot of people, and they've got a presentation tomorrow at 8 o'clock. When did you start that sucker? Oh, about 2 in the afternoon the day before. Well, no wonder it's lousy. You didn't really go through, put some work into it. And you're all busy people. There's part of that's the rationale. I mean, there's a rationale. And presentation, often I'll ask them, what comes to mind when you have to do a presentation? Oh, you tell me. Okay, you got to do a presentation. It's next Monday. What comes to mind? Piece of cake? Great. Love the idea. What?
Well, fear.
Fear. Okay, that's one that comes in there. And then if you have fear, what behavior are you going to adopt? Going to avoid it? You're going to procrastinate? All those kind of things. Sunday night, you're going to start it, perhaps. Okay, fear's one that comes to mind. What else comes to mind? Got to do presentation.
Preparation. You got to start research preparation.
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about?
What are you going to talk about? Often what comes to mind too is, oh my God, I've got a full plate already. How can I squeeze in the time to work up a decent presentation? Because it's an intrusion. Well, the nice thing about it is, the more you learn about it, the quicker you can go. I've heard of that from all the years I've ever done this. I ask feedback. What was most valuable in this? The ability to cut through the baloney and get right at it and move and end up with a better product. Versus going in all these different directions. So that's number one. Take the time to prepare. And I'll hear people, senior executives will often say, it's obvious people are showing up to give a presentation to me and my top staff, and they're not ready when they walk in that room. It's just blatantly obvious. Not very good impression. Right away, you already got a few negatives against you. So that's number 9. And we want to be ahead of it. Go in prepared. I mean, back again, up front, prepare. And here now we're talking the details. Get ready that the details are taken care of. Know the territory. What's the room look like? What kind of equipment are you going to use? I was in here about 12 o'clock, and I was here with Tim. And I said, Tim, we've got to make sure we're all compatible here. You ever see that problem? You got a laptop, they've got a projector, you go to a customer shop. That's really bad for your meeting. Except there's something else you want to have, and that's the third element. Have backups. In case it doesn't work, because it often is the problem. And we've had, it's amazing, major presentations. We're going after $100 million. And it's even our own equipment, our own projector, our own laptop, and we get in and we've practiced it, we've rehearsed it, and it doesn't work. Something went wrong, and we absolutely have learned you've got to have a backup.